I'm Jackie.
And I'm Richard.
And we're Early Retirement Wanderlust.
And we're planning on taking you through some of our thoughts and reflections on our first year, pretty much to the day when we've decided that we were going to early retire.
And what a year it's been. There's been lots of highs, there's been lots of lows, but yeah, we've had an amazing year.
For those of you that aren't aware, we're Richard and Jackie, and we retired this summer at the age of 51. We've both been teaching for 30 odd years.
Yeah, and we've both loved our jobs teaching.
And we've got two amazing kids who have now grown up. They have done the university thing. They're now ploughing their own furrows and, with their own partners and happily settled around the country. So we'd always planned to early retire, and we were really targeting retiring at 55.
Yeah, we'd already spoken to the teaching pension people and had all the forecasts done. And yeah, probably for the last 7 or 8 years, we've always said 55, that's when we'll go. When we're young, we can enjoy the time that we're going to have.
And then 2021 happened, and it was just the most awful year, personally, for me and for the family as a whole. I lost my dad and I lost my brother in very, very quick succession in the space of only a few months. And that inevitably changes life, and it changed our whole outlook. So we'd always been planning on retiring at 55, and then we were just asking ourselves the questions, why wait, and what were the reasons why we were looking to wait, and we couldn't come up with any good excuses. So that's when we decided a year ago that we were going to early retire.
Gosh, I can't believe it's been a year.
It's gone pretty quick.
It has, yeah. Yeah, and one of the biggest things that came out of 2021 would come off the back of lockdown, where we didn't see a lot of our families, and then we decided we wanted time together. We wanted time to do lots of things that we wanted to do when we wanted to do them. We had a lot of thinking to do, didn't we?
Yeah, and I love my self-help books, and I love reading around philosophy and things like that. And I think we quickly came to the conclusion that we were probably quite rich and quite privileged in terms of finance, but what we weren't rich and privileged in was time, and you can't buy that back.
Yeah, so a year ago, that was it. We decided we were going to retire, and this is our reflection, really, of what our last year's been.
Yeah, the good things, the bad things, the things that we've still got to do.
And the things that still stress us out.
So we're going to try and be quite honest with you and say it how it is, but all the time it is from our perspective. So everyone that goes into a venture like this, it's going to be very, very different for each and every one of you.
We're definitely not saying this is how you should retire, because I think, we really, with hindsight, perhaps would have planned some of the things a little bit more, like the finances, but
we are where we are.
Yeah,
and
we
we're
are
here.
where we are, and we're here. And actually, we have no regrets at all of what we've done.
And that's probably the first positive.
So, our retirement had several different parts to it. We're living in Cheshire, and we've loved living in Cheshire. We've been there for 22 years, but we also love the Yorkshire Dales, and it's closer to where Richard's mum now lives. and we want to go and see Richard's mum as much as possible. So yeah, our first big part of retiring was relocating.
Yeah, relocating and renovating. So we have never done anything adventurous like this before in terms of we found a house, what you would term as a doer-upper, and from moment one, stepping through the door, we loved it to bits.
In fact, we only looked at one house.
Yeah.
It was the first house we walked in.
We knew that we got lots to do, and it's really quite exciting. And for pretty much most of this year, we've been working towards actually getting that house, and regular viewers of this channel will know that in the last few weeks we're in the house and we're living the dream.
Another big part of our retirement plan was we have a campervan, which again regular viewers will have seen us on our travels, and we were desperate to we've got a bucket list a mile long, and even though we were teachers with lots of holidays as well, we just want to go to lots of different places. So it's 4 months since we actually retired, 21st of July when schools broke up, and the best thing we found is we keep saying that the saying time rich. We are actually now time rich.
It's until you experience not working, I think it's really hard to just comprehend how different it is. And one of the main reasons that we wanted to retire was to have more time together, better quality time together, more time with our families, more time with our kids and the people that we know and love.
And we have loved having time to do things. We've caught up with friends that we haven't seen for years. We're house sitting at the moment for friends that you worked with years ago that we, by chance, because we were time rich, we were in the lakes, and we came and visited them. And
we've ended up house sitting for them. And the opportunity to meet up with and rekindle all of those friendships that perhaps had fallen by the wayside because of, for all the right reasons, for jobs and for pressure of work and, making a living, then that's the way it was.
And that's been one of the biggest highlights to me, actually catching up with people that we've not seen for a long time. Another part being time rich is that we are doing quite a lot of the renovations on the house that we've bought ourselves. The stuff that we can do. We're not big DIYers and we are learning new skills as we go along. The structural stuff we will leave to the experts because we're not even going to try. And the plumbing stuff, I don't think I trust you with a bathroom.
I don't think I trust me with a bathroom.
No. But we're really enjoying just pottering in the house and stripping wallpaper and preparing all the walls ready again.
It's amazing how quick we dropped out of work mode.
Yes.
We used to, in the certainly in the first month of retirement, we were always referencing certain times of the day or certain points in the week, and that's all gone. And I'll be really honest, my mind from work is completely emptied.
I can't remember the last time we said, oh, we'd be on break duty now, or
gate duty in the morning, or
it's Sunday night and we haven't got to do any planning.
And I think I've talked about this before, the Sunday night feeling. It's a horrible feeling, and it's something I think we both suffered with.
And I think most people suffer with it.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that doesn't talk about the Sunday night feeling.
Even the government's now doing work to try and help people with the Sunday night feeling. Well, I think we've probably done the ultimate thing in terms of getting rid of that Sunday night feeling. But when you're in that position, I sometimes I think you don't actually realise the effect it's having on you. And for us to be able to get our Sunday nights back, it sounds something really, really little, but it's actually something that's so valuable to us. Yeah.
Another thing I've loved from our time that we've had so far, and it has only been 4 months, is just the flexibility to do what we want. Last Friday we were busy painting and decorating. We were getting our bedroom ready to move back into. And I looked out the window and it was really sunny. And I was like, why are we inside painting? We don't have to get this done. Let's just go for a walk.
And we did. And within sort of 10, 15 minutes, we were heading off up to one of our favourite peaks in the Yorkshire Dales, which was Pen-y-Ghent.
And it was beautiful. And we were like, we didn't even think about what day it was. I think it was a Thursday or a Friday. And we just headed up the hills.
And this week is a prime example.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly by chance, the day we arrived in the lakes, has given out a week of amazing winter forecasts. So we've got really cold temperatures, we've got really clear skies, low wind, we've even got snow in a couple of days' time. So we're doing nothing but climbing mountains over the course of the next few days.
And taking lots of photos.
And that's okay to do that, because we have got the time to do that. And even though we know back home we've got loads of DIY stuff still to do, we've got that time to let that happen.
We're going to be cursing ourselves saying that in about 6 months' time.
Of course we are.
When we keep looking at the house going, why is it taking so long to do? But actually,
because
we're just having fun doing it.
Because we've climbed lots of mountains.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always struggled with, and I've struggled with for a number of years, is quality sleep. And I think one of the major benefits for me for early retirement is that I'm actually sleeping so much better. Not only sleeping longer, but the quality of my sleep is a lot better. And again, linked to the thing we were talking about earlier about time. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I used to be annoyed at myself because I needed to get to sleep, because I needed to go to work the following day. Whereas now I'm so much more relaxed. And because I'm more relaxed, ironically, I actually go back to sleep and I sleep better. So rather than it being a negative cycle, it's been a really, really positive cycle.
I mean, I've always been pretty good at sleeping. Anyone that knows me knows that I will...
Jackie's a world record.
I go to sleep at 10 and I wake up at 8 in the morning, and maybe pushing it to 9 now.
I'm ever so jealous of that. But quality of sleep, complete change around. And then I think probably to round things off, just one of the major positives for me over the course of the last few months is I feel so much more content with my life and what I'm doing. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely, and we both absolutely loved our jobs, and we loved working with young people, and we loved teaching, and we would have carried on.
There were times when we felt that our life wasn't our own because our job is so involved. And it's that bit of contentment. We found that we've actually got time for us now. And
one of the things that we've done is we talk quite regular on this channel about simplifying our life, and the value of the simple things, and I'm just really content with that.
One of the things we would like to say is it hasn't been stress-free. It's just different kinds of stresses that we come across. When we first decided to retire, just handing in our notices was stressful enough.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're making a decision as to whether to retire or not, you think that there's a great nirvana out there where life will suddenly become completely stress-free, and that just does not happen.
No, some of the stresses have just changed. For me, I don't have anxiety about not working anymore, and I don't have anxiety about, oh my goodness, have we done the wrong thing? But I will have real worries about the house. We're renovating the house, trying to get builders to do things, and I keep thinking we've got the set budget and we want the house to be like this. Have we got enough money? So it's just different kinds of stresses now.
Anyone that knows me, and anyone that particularly that worked with me, will know that I am a bit of a control freak. I'm a bit of a planner, and I have bucket loads of OCD. So
he does.
So what we're doing now and stepping into the big unknown does cause a bit of anxiety, because there are so many things that are out of our control, but it's okay for them to be out of our control. And all we're trying to do is live with that. So it's okay that it's taking us longer than expected to get quotes back in from the builders, because they'll eventually come in.
Yeah, and it's okay if we don't get the house renovated before Easter, because it won't happen before Easter now.
And I think probably one of the things that we've learned the most is that, any time plans or strategy plans that you've got are just going to slide completely. They'll probably stay in the right order, but they are just going to slide. So simply getting our house took, as you well know, 14 weeks longer than we thought, because we were homeless for 14 weeks. And
you need to know, my biggest worry is, in our old house, there were certain jobs that needed doing. We didn't have a curtain pole in our living room for nearly 3 years because our son had a party and the curtain pole came down. 3 years later, we were still saying, oh yeah, we'll get it done. I'm a bit worried that the renovation might be a bit like that.
Whereas now, the newfound Richard, who has newfound DIY skills and confidence, that's clearly not going to happen.
No, he's not going to say, oh, it's sunny, let's go and climb a mountain.
So the last couple of things that we'd probably look to improve are, first of all, living in a renovation. And we are loving it, but it is a little bit like camping. And we're seeing it as a big adventure, and I'm not sure whether we'll still be seeing it as a big adventure 6 months down the line. But we're in our dream house, we're in our dream place.
We've got our camping stove.
We've got our air fryer, and it is a challenge, and inevitably it's going to be more of a challenge as the builders start knocking it inside out, but we've got to cross that bridge when we get to it. And
we know we've got the campervan to go and literally live in it again for a few weeks at a time if we need to, so I'm not that worried about that bit.
Okay.
For me, one of the things that I've found quite strange is having to think about money in a different way. Obviously, all our work in life, we've worked to having a date when the money will come in. We both got paid on the same day every month, and obviously that's not happening at the moment. And it's things like we always used to put everything onto monthly direct debits because we knew what was coming in and what was going out. But economically, we also know it's better to pay for things up front. And we've never done that. Your mum and dad always used to. And my mum used to. So it's quite frightening for me at the moment that when the cars both needed insuring, we've paid for that up front because we don't have to pay the extra direct debit fees. And I feel like we're paying money out all of the time. But I know we're also not paying big chunks of £50 here and there a month for those things. And I know it makes sense, but that for me, that's been quite a big thing to get my head around.
Yeah.
So we've had a year. We've given up our jobs, we've moved house and bought a renovation project, we've lived in a van for 14 weeks. What's the next steps, Rich?
For us, we've moved to a new community, and we've moved to a new community for the first time in probably 30 odd years. So we just need to find our feet in that community, build a new set of network of friends, and really immerse ourselves in the Dales community.
Yeah, and the village that we chose to live in, we chose quite specifically. It doesn't have any pubs or cafes, but it does have a really lovely community centre and community feel with different projects that they have going each month.
So last weekend they had their community Christmas lunch, and we went up there, and it was just such a lovely occasion. It was really nice, and that's what we need to really commit to doing, because I think we're both naturally quite shy people.
Yeah.
I certainly don't find it easy to go out and meet new people and things like that, and it's just something that we've got to be able to do. So next thing we've got to target is we have to sort the house out.
Yeah, the renovation projects, although to us it seems like this huge job, but to every builder and contractor and person that we've spoken to, it's like, oh yeah, it's a small job. Yeah, only be a month.
So we just need to get on and get it done and start seeing some progress. So, and then going full circle, our last next step is to really try and make sure that we keep connecting with our friends and our family. We have moved away, but the world is a smaller place now.
And that's linked in with the renovations. As soon as the house is livable and we can have guests stay in, we're just so excited that we can have different people every weekend come and stay with us.
Part of that is we know people are really busy and they're working, and we just need to work super hard to keep in touch with them.
Yeah.
And then finally, in the shorter term, we're up here in the lakes, we're house sitting our friend's house, and a really short term target, because we have got a cracking weather forecast and weather front coming, is to get out
tick
on the
off
peaks,
lots of those rain rights,
and get up onto, hopefully, fingers crossed, some snowy peaks, and bring you along and show you the delights of the English Lake District in winter.
Yeah, so hopefully our next few week videos will just be full of snow, sunshine and mountains.
That's us. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.